Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Sawakkato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Saṅgho Saṅghang Namami Antamayang Buddhassa Bhagavato Puppapākanamakaraṃ Karomase Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Okay, good morning, good afternoon again, everyone. Okay, today, Heiko probably is not available to present his part, and I will cover for him. Okay, let me share screen. Okay, so this is what we schedule for. Okay, so this week supposed to be Heiko. Okay, however, I still have some part left here. The proverb from 69 to 86, but so I will put it here. Okay, and then we will find time for that part of Heiko to see if when he's available or okay. So okay, so let me go back to actually I did not finish a few proverbs before that as well, so we will cover all that from 66. I think this is where we left off until proverb number 86. Okay, all right, this proverb Chiranti ve Rajaratha Sutitta Atho Sarirampi Charang Upeti Satanja Tammu Na Charang Upeti Santo Have Saphi Pave Tayanti. A royal chariot, however splendidly decorated, will become old. Even our body is approaching its decay. The virtuous nature, however, never deteriorates, for the virtuous always understand each other. Okay, this is from Suttanta Pitaka. Okay, Sangyutta Nikaya or Link Discourse. Okay, or this is the reference as in 3.3. Okay, so if we look at the reference, okay, this is where the proverb is from. Okay, and this is the saying of the Buddha. Okay, and this is, I think, talking to the king, I think, who asked something about I think something about anything that is permanent. Okay, so Lord Buddha answered by saying that even the chariots of the king, however they well decorated, okay, they will get old or wear out. Okay, our bodies always gets old. Okay, however the virtues, okay, the truth of the good never get old. So the good proclaim to the good. That means the good people, okay, would understand the virtues. So this is, if you go to, let me check, SN 3.3. Okay, if we go to Sutanta to check link discourse, number 3.3. So this is a conversation with King Pasenati, of the Kosala state. Okay, so he came to ask. Okay, and this is how the Buddha answer. So if we read this proverb, okay, we should understand that the impermanence of everything. Okay, and everything will be decay. Okay, and only the virtues. Okay, will never be decay. Okay, so this part of this proverbs. Next, okay, proverb number 67. Te chayino sat sata satatika nityang taruha parakkama put santi thira nippanang yoga kemang anuttarang. Wise men equipped with meditation, constant effort, and steady progress will attain the supreme nibbana, which is free from all kinds of bondage. Meaning that a person who is wise, okay, he will practice meditation with constant effort, okay, and he will get progress. Eventually will attain the supreme nibbana, okay, which is the highest happiness, and will be free from all kinds of bondage. Okay, nothing can hold him back. He is now liberated. And this proverb is from Dhammapada, okay, number 23. Actually, this is a story of a lady named Samavati, okay, who became the king's wife. Okay, she has up and downs in her life. She was born in a royal, in the family of a wealthy person. Okay, however, run into some problems in life. Okay, you have to leave the city where she's from. Okay, because there were like the disease that spread out. Okay, so their family had to leave that city. Okay, however, we come to the next city because of the suffering. Okay, from the traveling and from hunger. Okay, her parents passed away, so she was left alone. But she was adopted by another wealthy treasurer in that city, who is also happened to be his friend, the friend of her father. Okay, and then later she got the attention from the king. Okay, attention from the king, and then to the king married her to be one of uh, his wife. Okay, so I would say just the brief of the story. Okay, quite long. You can read all. Okay, and also there is another lady who is also become the wife of the king, become the consort of the king. Her name was Makantiya. But this Makantiya, okay, is not a faithful follower in Buddhism. In fact, she has a grudge against the Buddha. Okay, so when she knows that Samavati was a follower of the Buddha, she uh, planned the revenge. Okay, and tried to harm Samavati for many times, and eventually she uh, was able to cause Samavati and her mates to die. Okay, but Samavati already attained, I think, Sotapanna, so she was even though according to her karma, but from the past life, but after this life, she would be reborn in the fortunate realms in heaven. Okay, but Ma Makantiya, okay, after uh, successfully get rid of Samavati, okay, so she were tricked by the king, who have some suspicious suspicions about who is a person behind this killing. Okay, so uh, she asked and pretended to that he didn't like uh, Samavati and was happy who did this to her, and then Makantiya fell for that and admit of doing that. So the king then punished her and her mates. Okay, so Lord Buddha, after knowing this, okay, he said that those who are mindful do not die, but those who are negligent as dead even while living. Meaning that the people who have uh, reached some enlightenment, okay, they are mindful all the time, even though they pass away from this life, their future will be secure. Okay. So that means that they do not die, okay, literally. Okay. However, those who are negligent, okay, do not practice, and they are considered dead, okay, even though they are still alive. Okay, so this is the story of this, okay, proverb, and then you can see that, okay, and the proverb is number 23 right here, okay. All right, we'll move on to the next proverb, proverb number 68, okay. Tukkameva hi sampoti, tukkang tittati veti ja, nanyatara dukkha sampoti, nanyatara dukkha niruchati. Only suffering is born, only suffering exists and deteriorates. Birth as well as death refer to none other than suffering. Okay, so this is the words of a Bhikkhuni, or the lady monks, okay, named Vashira, and then the proverb is from Sangyutta Nikaya, okay, 510. So we will take a look at these proverbs here from the reference Vachira Sutta. Okay, talk about the only suffering that born and pass away. Okay, nothing. Okay, except for suffering come to be and ceases to be. Okay, so it is the words from the non Vachira or the Bhikkhuni Vashira saying to the Mara, because I think she tried, the Mara tried to come to disturb her, and by asking questions. Okay. So after replying this, the Mara left. Okay, so this is where the Proverbs is from. Okay. All right, we will move on to the next. Okay, number 69, which is the beginning of this this week Proverbs. Tammo pato maharaja, atammo pana upato, atammo nirayang neti, tammo papeti sukating. Now, law of morality, O Your Majesty, is for you to follow, whereas that of immorality is for you to avoid. The former leads to happiness, while the latter leads to misery. Okay, so this is the talk to a king. Okay, well, that is what Maharaja is, a great king. Okay, so this saying is from the Bodhisattva in one of the former life of the Buddha, Jataka number 530. Okay, so he told the king that the law of morality is for you to follow. Okay, so you should follow the law of morality, or the law of immorality. Okay, you should avoid, because the morality will lead to happiness, while the immorality will lead to misery. Okay, so this is from Jataka, and we will see the reference. Where is it? Okay, the Jataka number 530, or Sankitya Jataka. Okay, in that life, the Bodhisattva, or the Buddha in that life, was once an ascetic, but before this, he was the son of the king's chaplain. Okay, so he is the advisor, or work for the prince. Okay, yeah, and was also a close friend. Okay, but when the prince had this plan to assassinate or to kill his father to become a king himself, the Bodhisattva warned him that this is a terrible thing to do. Okay, and will lead him to hell. But the prince, other servants, okay, they support the idea. Okay, and that's why the Bodhisattva decided to become an ascetic and left the palace. Okay, after the prince successfully killed his father and become a king. Okay, and later he felt regret. Okay, and has no happiness. Okay, so he was very guilty, feel very guilty of what he's done. And then the Bodhisattva, after certain amount of time, so he decided to come to visit the king. Okay, with his 500 fellow ascetics. Okay, and they, with the ability in deep meditation, they were able to fly through the air. Okay, and then so they all fly to the palace. Okay, and meet with the king, and then the king was worried and asked of his future life, and then the Bodhisattva told him the story about the hell. Okay, so the king was very afraid. Okay, and also the Bodhisattva ascetic also show the heavens to the king for those who do good things. Okay, and the king then have changed his mind and start to do good deeds. Okay, so, and in this life of the Buddha, okay, the Bodhisattva ascetic become the Buddha, while the king in that life was the past life of the king Ajatasattu, who also in this life killed his father again, okay, because of his wrong view uh, associated with Devadatta Thera. Okay, so again, the Lord Buddha tried to uh, use the Dharma to help him to be to feel better and become the supporter of the Buddhism later on. Okay. So this is the story behind this proverb, and this is the guidance to the king. Okay, so far, are there any questions? Okay, I move on to Proverbs number 70. Nanti sanyo chano logo vitakassa vicharana tanhaya vipahanena nippanang iti uchati. The world is pleasure bound and roams on the field of its own fancy. Nibbana is so called because it is the annihilation of desire. Okay. And this proverb is from Sutta Nibbana 5.13. Okay. And the reference, sorry, not this one. Yeah. Nanti Sanyosho logo. Fetters mean the defilement that hold or wrap around. Okay. The giving this is okay. So this is the words. I think it's the word of the Buddha. Answer to Uttaya Manava question. Okay, right. I think this is the word of the Buddha, and this is the discussion with this young Uttaya. Okay, so the world, our world, meaning that the being in the world, like are tied up with this delight or pleasure. Okay, and then when you are able to give up the desire or the craving, okay, uh, it can be called as nibbana or the utmost happiness. Okay. Okay. By the way, like if you want to know the details of this, for example, these proverbs, you want to find the meaning or the translation of each word or of the whole proverbs, you can use this AI. If you ask Gemini, the AI, okay, to translate this proverb, okay, by breaking down, right? Okay, you can ask the AI, and it will give you quite detail of the translation, okay, words by words and line by line, which is quite interesting and I think convenient. Okay, you know that's from Samyutta Nikaya. I don't know whether it's from the same or not. Let's see. Samyutta Nikaya 1.55. Let me check. Oh, this is another. This is from the Samhita Sutta. Okay. This we have the like Nanti means the delight, the pleasure. Sanyochano means the fetter, the bond. Okay, like this. Okay, literal meaning. The word is fettered by delight. Vitakasa, Vicharana. Okay. Tanhaya Vipahanena. So this word, Tanhaya, craving. Vipahanena means abandon, okay, or removal. Okay. So this is very convenient if you want to know anything about this. Okay. So just maybe to show you that there's a tool that you can use in learning. Okay. And this AI is now become more popular. So we can also use it in study the Dharma. Mhm. Okay. You can do that with any of the proverbs. Okay. Now we move on to the next one, 71. Yan Nan Yatra Hocha Tapasa Nan Yatra Intariya Sangvara Nan Yatra Sappa Nisakha So Ting Pasami Paninang. Okay. I see no greater causes of security for beings than wisdom, exertion, self-control, and giving up of all things. Okay. So this is from Samyutta Nikaya 2.17. Okay, maybe we can take a look at this. Okay, this is the talk of the Buddha with the godling or Devaputta. Okay, Devaputta, or maybe the son of the god Subrahma. Subrahma is the name. Okay. He asked, I think, if there is any state free of anxiety, please answer my question. Okay. And Lord Buddha said that not without the wisdom, fervent, and the practice, not without the control of the sensual uh, organs, okay, the sense organs, not without letting go of everything, do I see safety for living creation. So all the beings, okay, will be safe only if they have wisdom, they have practice, they have control of the sense organs, and they let go of everything. Then only then they will have safety, okay, or be free, okay, from suffering. So this is the meaning of this proverb number 71. Okay. I move on to next one. Panchakkhanta parinya ta tithanti chinna mulaka tukkhayo anupatto nati thani unapavo. The five aggregates, okay, which include the body and mind, whose nature has been realized, are said to be standing like tree with their roots torn up to pieces. There's no other existence for him who has accordingly reached the condition where all kinds of suffering are destroyed. Okay. So when the person knows all there is to know about the five aggregates, okay, understand fully, okay, it's just like the tree even though it's still standing, but the root has been completely cut down. Okay, the roots are torn up or cut up into pieces. So the tree is already dead. It will no longer grow. Okay, because the root has been cut. Okay. Just like the person who knows completely the five aggregates. Okay, there is no future existence for him. Okay, because he reached the condition where all kinds of suffering are destroyed. Okay, so this is the words of Nahataka Thera. Okay, or the senior monk. Okay, from Therakatha 6.11. Okay. If we take a look at this, okay, Nahataka Mudnita Thero. Okay, when the five aggregates are fully understood, they remain, but their roots is cut. Okay. Just that our body is still there, but the root, which is the kilesa, already cut. Wow. So reach the end of suffering, and there is no more future lives. Okay, so this is the words from this Thera. Okay, we move on to the next one, number 73. Patta te nippanang ye put ye yutta tassa palatsa pavachani up up aposuka katenti chati maranapahanaya. He who puts into practice the Buddha's doctrine, who is satisfied with little and who endeavors to surpass the realm of birth and death, can attain Nibbana. And this is the word from uh, uh, Lady Piku, okay, or Theri, okay, Pikuni, okay, Sumedha Theri. That is, if you remember, is from the previous Proverbs that we have passed. Okay, this Sumedha Theri Pikuni, okay, is a I think it's a princess. Okay, but she refused to be married. Okay, to live the lay life. So she requests that to her parents, the king and the queen, to allow her for ordination. And then she says so uh, many good dharma to them, so that they now allowed her to ordain, and she later become arahant. Okay. So this is one of her speech. Okay, that mentioned that those are committed, okay, to the nibbana. Okay, and then they use all the 10 power, okay, to attain the extinguishment. Okay, so they apply themselves to give up the birth and death, the rebirth. Okay. So this is the word from Sumedha theory. Okay, any questions so far? So next, Proverbs number 74. Pahusutang upasaya sutanja na vinasaye tangmulang ramacariya sa tasamathamma tarosiya. Okay, try to associate with a person who is well educated in the doctrine. Okay, do not spoil your education. Education is a sustaining cause of a chaste life. So try your best to be well versed in the doctrine. And this is the Ananta Thera. Okay, from Therakatha 17.3. Ananta Thera is the personal attendant to the Buddha. He is the person who listened to all the Dhamma that Lord Buddha teach, even though he was not present where Lord Buddha might travel alone, but he's got this permission from Lord Buddha that whatever Dhamma that Lord Buddha teach to others without his presence, Lord Buddha will have to tell that to him, because he requested before taking up the position of the personal attendant of the Buddha. So he is the one who heard all the teachings, and he is the one who has this great memory. Okay, so during the Sankita, or the first council of the Sangha, he was the person who answered all the questions regarding the sutta, okay, or the Dhamma. Okay. And he recommend, or he advised that you should be with a person who is well educated. Okay. And then you should not spoil your education by keep practicing, because with education is the cost for the life of the monk, okay, to be sustainable. And then try to learn a lot of teaching of the Buddha. So this is his advice, or his saying. Okay, I'll move on to the next proverb. Okay. Makha nat thang kiko seto satyanang jaturo patha virako seto thammanang tipathananja jakuma. Okay. Makha nat thang kiko. This is the eightfold path. Okay. Seto means the greatest, or the best. Okay. So the Noble Eightfold Path, okay, is the best of all paths. Okay. The Four Noble Truths surpasses all other truths. Okay. The annihilation of the desires outshines all other virtues. And the Buddha with divine eye is superior to all other two-footed beings. Okay. So saying that all the path, the Eightfold Path is the best. Okay. And of all the truth, okay, of all the satya, the truth, the Four Noble Truths is the best. Okay. So I hope you remember what the Eightfold Path and Four Noble Truths are. Okay. And then virako, the annihilation of desire, okay, is the best Dhamma, or the best other than other virtues. And then tipathananja jakuma. Tipatha meaning that the two-footed beings. Jakuma, the one with the eye. Okay, so this is the one with the Dhamma eye. Okay, the Dhamma Jakku. That means the Buddha or the Arhat. Okay, so that meaning that the Buddha is the greatest two-footed being. Okay, and this is from Dhammapatha 273. Let's look at that. Okay, so this is the Proverbs. Okay. This is a story of the 500 monks. Okay. Though after a journey through the country, returning to Savatthi, Buddha, okay, and other monks, okay, They talk about the monks, 500 monks talk about the path that they have traveled, saying that this path is smooth, that path is rough, and so on. This path covered with pebbles, okay, without pebble. So they talk a lot about this. And then Lord Buddha think that they probably are able to attain arahatship. Okay. So he asked what the monks are talking about. Okay. And then when they told him that talking about the path that they have taken, Lord Buddha didn't say that this is a path foreign to our interest, okay, that we should not be interested in. Okay. But the monk, okay, should address themselves to the noble path, the Eightfold Noble Path, because this will bring him to obtain release from all sufferings. Okay, so this is the teaching to all the 500 monks. Okay, this Dhammapada is that short story. We move on to the next one. Okay. Yattha namancha rupancha asesang uparuchati vinyanatsa nirotena et te tang uparuchati. The absolute extinction of name and form take place where there is the absolute extinction of consciousness. So, namancha, nama is the name, non rupa is a form. Okay. So, asesang uparuchati would mean extinction without anything left. Okay. And it's only take place when vinyanasa, or the consciousness, okay, is already extinct. This means that the name and form is extinct as well. Yes. So this is from Sutta Nipada. So let's look at the reference. We have to call. This is a question from Achita Manava. Achita, or the young Achita. Okay. Pucha is a question. Manava is the young. Achita is a name of the person who asked. Okay. So the answer from the Buddha is it where name and form cease with nothing left over, with the cessation of consciousness. Okay, here this is. Okay. So when the consciousness is extinct, okay, then name and form will be ceased without anything left. So this is the answer of the Buddha to Ajita, the young Ajita. Okay. We move on to number 77. Yam hi satyancha dhammoja ahimsa sanyamo thamo eta tariya sevanti etang loke anamatang. The noble one associates with a person who is honest and righteous, who practices non-violence, self-control, and self-restraint. This is an everlasting truth in the world. Okay. And this is from Jataka number 166. Okay. The noble one, those who are wise, okay, associate with a person who is honest, righteous, practice non-violence, self-control, and self-restraint. Sevanti, meaning that association. Okay, sevana. Okay. So, satyancha dhammo. Dhammo the honest Satchanja, Dhammoja, yeah, righteous one, practice the Dhamma. Ahimsa, meaning that non-violence. Sanyamo, okay, self-control. Tamo, self-restraint. Okay, Sanyamo, I don't think would be self-control. Tamo will be self-restraint. Okay. And this is the everlasting truth in the world. This is from Jataka. Okay, let's take a look at the Jataka. Okay. And this is a story about a Brahmin who is getting old, and he talked to his sons that when he died, his body should be burned in a place where no untouchables or no one of lower class, okay, has been ever cremated. So he want to be pure by class. He want to be burned or cremated in a place where no untouchables, okay, or the one of or lower classes had been cremated. Okay. So the son took him to find the place. Okay, walk up the mountains. Okay, and then he select a spot. Okay, between these three hills. Okay, and this is near where the Bodhisattva live. Okay, as an aesthetic. Okay, and then as they climb back from the mountain. Okay, going back home, they met with the Bodhisattva. Okay, and they talked to each other, and they explained why. And then the Bodhisattva told them that uh, the place that he has chosen, okay, that there are many people, there are great many people that has been cremated there in the same place, same spot, okay, that including the Brahmin himself, okay, in the previous life, okay, not only just once, but 14,000 times of his previous life that he was burned here or cremated here. So he said to the king this proverb that the path to kindness, honesty, justice, moderation, and self-control should be the path that one should take. Okay, and this again happened in the time of the Buddha as well. When Lord Buddha become the Buddha in this life, the two men now reborn as father and son again, and they have this idea again. Okay, and then we come to talk to the Buddha. The Buddha tell them about this previous life. Okay, so that's the story of this proverb number 77. Let's move on to 78. Yani so tani lokasming sati te sang niwaranang so tanang sangwarang brumi panyaye te pitiyare. Okay. Mindfulness is a bar to the mighty current of passions. Mindfulness, I say, is a barrier. But wisdom is the current shut off. Okay. So the current of passion, okay, we use a mindfulness, okay, to like control, okay, to block against that. Okay. So with the mindfulness, you can like block the current of passion or the passion that keep coming. Okay. And also you can completely shut it down by wisdom. Okay. So with mindfulness, you can like control. Okay. And then with wisdom, you can shut off this current. And this is from Sutta Nipada 5.2. I think it's the same story, maybe. Yeah. The same person, Achita Manava Pucha, from the same sutta. And this is the answer to Achita, the young, venerable Achita. How to restrain the stream, and what they are locked out, what can control the stream or current, or what can block them, lock out. So the mindfulness can control and the wisdom can lock out. We move on to the next one. Proverbs number 79. Ye santa citta nipaka sati manto ja chayino samma dhammang vipassanti kamesu anapekino. Those whose minds are calm, who are self-possessed, mindful, concentrated, and ignore sensual pleasures, will rightly understand the nature of things. So this saying that those whose mind are calm, and has a wisdom, be mindful, and can ignore the sensual pleasure. They will have understanding, the right understanding, in the nature of things, or in the Dhamma. And this is where this is from, Iti Buddhaka, number 45. This is the words of the Buddha. Ye santa citta nipaka sati manto ja chayino Dhamma dhammang vipassanti kamesu anapekino. So next, we will move on to number 80. Yo ja pa panjang yo ja pa panjang hitwana nippa panja pate rato ara thai so nippanang yo kap kemang anuttarang. One who avoids the path of delay and treads the way of quickness can enjoy the supreme nibbana, which is free from all fetters. So there are things that cause the delay, in the path toward the nibbana. And if you can give up or avoid those, you can quickly reach supreme nibbana. Which in supreme nibbana, you are free from all the fetters or any bondage. So panjang, that this is the thing that's caused the delay. And in the explanation, this thing called tanhaya is a craving. The mana or the pride, or ego. And then the titi or the wrong view. That's caused people to be delayed in reaching nibbana. This is called papanjang. Right? Let's look at the reference. So that's cause the papanjang. This gets translated to be proliferation. All right, we move on to number 81. Sakanghi dhammang paripunna mau anyassa dhammang pana hina mahu evampi vikhayeha vivathayanti sakang sammati mahu satyang. Okay. So most teachers, okay, declare that their doctrines, their teaching, and superpositions are perfect, while those of others are defective. Such is the cause of their dispute and quarrel when they declare that only their suppositions are true. Okay. So there are many teachers in this world that have the belief that their teaching is the best, they are complete, okay, and then while the others are defective. Okay. And then they always quarrel about this. Okay. Because they have this supposition that is true. Okay. Because supposition meaning that there's only the hypothesis. Okay, not the true things. Okay, let's look at the reference. This is from Sutta Nipata. Sakang hi dhammang varipunnamahu. Okay. Sakang is self. Okay. Dhammang is the teaching of the Dhamma. Varipunna means complete. Okay. Anyatsa means others. Okay. Other Dhamma. Vana. Hina mahu. Hina means not good. Okay. Defective. Okay. So this vivata means quarrel. Okay. That their own samutti mahu satyang, their own theory or their own theory are correct and are the truth. And that's what they quarrel about. Okay. So this is this proverb number 81. Next, we move on to number 82. Sammapathana sampanno satipatthana kojaro vimutti kusuma sanchanno kusuma sanchanno parinippayi satayana satayana savo. Equipped with the four kinds of right efforts, okay, dwelling in contemplation of the four subject matters of mindfulness, blessed with the flower of spiritual deliverance, assessed without any fermented passion, will enter into Nibbana. Okay. So, Sammapathana, okay, these are the right efforts, okay, the four kinds of right effort. Sampanno means the complete, okay, or Satipatthana, that means the mindfulness, Satipatthana. And then spiritual deliverance, okay. The flowers, okay. Consider the flower. And a sage, okay, without fermented passion or asavo, okay, will enter Nibbana. Parinippaya, jissati, jis satayana savo. So this is the words of the Thera named Tevasapha, Vasapha Thera, from Therakatha 1.100. Okay. So you may see it in the reference. So this bhikkhu, okay, or Thera only said this Proverbs. Okay. All right, we'll move on to the next one. Number 83. Sukhang vata nippanang samma samputtha tesitang asokang virachang khemang yatha tukhang nirucchati. Blissful is the Nibbana declared by the Buddha as the end of sorrow. Okay. The absence of dust, the land of freedom, and the domain of extinct suffering. Okay. Sukhang means this happiness is good, very good. Okay. Samma samputtana tesitang. This declare. Tesitang is show or declare by Samma Sambuddha or Lord Buddha. Okay. Asokang means end of sorrow or no sorrow. Virachang means no stain or free from dust. Kemang is a happiness, very, very happy, or freedom. Okay. Yatta tukhang nirucchati. So this is free of suffering. Okay. Ending of suffering. And this is the words of the Arita Thera Bhikkhu in Theravada. Okay. So we'll move on to the next one. Number 84. Sorajjang avihimsa ja pata nakatsa te tuve sati ja sampachanyan ja ranya ja rana nakatsa te bare. Gentleness and non-violence can be represented as two hind legs of an elephant, while mindfulness and self-possession may be referred to as the front legs. So Sorajjang is the gentleness. Okay. Avihimsa, non-violence. Okay. Can be considered the hind legs. Okay, the two legs behind. Okay. While mindfulness and self-possession. Okay, mindfulness is sati. Okay, sampachanya is self-possession. These two can be referred as the front legs of the elephant. Okay. And this is from Theravada 15.2. The Thera or the senior monk named Uttayi Thera. Okay, Uttayi Thera. Okay, let's look at the reference. Uttayi Thera Katha. And this is from actually part of the two different Proverbs. Okay. Okay, to set. And if you read on, okay, it's like Sorajjang and Avihimsa are the legs behind, and Sati and Sampajanya are two legs in front. And also talk about the trunk of the elephant, okay, which are considered as the faith, Sattha, okay, is the trunk. And Upekha, equanimity is the tusk, okay, the two tusks. Tanta is the teeth, okay. So these are to compare different virtues as the organs of the elephant, okay. This is quite interesting, okay. Next, this is from Dhammapada 167. Hinang Dhammang na sevaya Pamatena na sangvase Michhatiting na sevaya na siya loka vattano. Let not a man be friend with any low nature. Okay. Let him not associate with carelessness, nor possess any wrong view, nor be a useless unit of the community. Okay. So Hinang Dhammang means the Dhamma that is uh, low nature or not a good Dhamma. Okay. And then Pamatena would mean uh, carelessness, okay, or heedlessness. Vichhatiting is a wrong view. So you should not have any wrong view. And Natsiya Loka Vatano. So you should you should not be a useless person in this world. Okay. This is from Dhammapatha 167. Let's look at that. Okay. This is a story of a young monk. Okay. I think the young monk go with his teacher to the house of Visakha, the lay supporter. Okay. And the young monk, okay, left at the house of Visakha. Okay. And one granddaughter of her, okay, doing some filtering of water. Okay. And then when the granddaughter saw her own reflection in the water, she smiled. Then the young monk looked at her and also smiled. And then she uh, get angry and cry out, okay, you with a shaven head or bald head, why are you smiling at me? Yeah, because she thought that she did not smile at him. Okay, she smiled to her own reflection. And the young monk feel upset as well. Okay, like saying bad thing back. You are also shaven head yourself. Your mother and your father are also shaven heads. Okay, and then they start to fight, try to argue. And the young girl, okay, went crying to the grandmother of Visakha. And then she said to the monk, do not get angry with my granddaughter. However, a monk does not have his hair. The monk are the person who have his hair shaved. Okay, so what she says, like, quite right. Okay, and the young monk still wasn't happy with the words of Visakha. Okay. Even though it's true, why should she abuse me? Okay. And then the when the teacher of the monk come back, but both of them, okay, the teacher and Visakha, could not calm down the young monk, okay, and also the young girl who are fighting. And then the Buddha came, okay, and after knowing the story, okay, the Buddha knew that, okay, it's a for the young monk to be able to attain some uh, enlightenment, okay, he would make the young monk quite ready to listen. Okay, so the Buddha kind of talked to Visakha that your granddaughter should not address that to my son as a shaven head. Okay, because he says it's shaven, but you should not use that word to him. Okay, he shaved his head because he become ordained. Okay, And then the monk quite pleased, okay, with what Buddha said, and kneel down and listen to the Buddha, okay, saying that he talked to the Buddha that Venerable, only you understand me, okay. My teacher and the great donor of Visakha uh, do not understand me. So then Lord Buddha knew that he is ready for the teaching. So he said this word, to surmise with sensual desire is not right. And it's improper to have ignoble thoughts. And then after hearing this teaching, the young monk was able to attain Sotapanna. Okay, so this is a story behind this proverb. Okay, and then we have come to this last proverb of this group. Hinena brahmachariyena khatiye upapachati machimena cha tevatang uttamena visuchyati. Okay. A relaxed chaste life leads to kingship. A moderate one gives him a divine life, while a supreme kind awards absolute impurity. So this talking about practicing the chaste life. Okay. If you practice uh, relaxingly without being very strict or did not practice it to the best, okay, like without any diligence at all, okay, but it will lead you to become a king, okay. You can be reborn and become the leader of the country or state, okay. However, if you practice moderately, okay, put more effort into that, okay, at the middle level, you can attain a divine life, okay, or a life in heaven as a deva. However, you do it practice to the supreme, okay, what the kind of reward that you get is the absolute purity, meaning that you can be completely pure and go to the nibbana or nirvana, okay. And this is the word of the Buddha from Chataka, okay. There are two Chataka, okay, that you can. The first one is the king, okay. So the king, okay, he's very generous, okay. However, he feel that uh, there are many people worthless or greedy that receive his offering. So he want to make his donation good to the private Buddhas or the Pajjeka Buddha. Okay, those who reach enlightenment on their own but do not teach to others. Okay, so following the advice of his queen, okay, who is wise, okay, and he ordered everyone in the city to have the precept, to keep the precept, and then he have this box full, okay, the gold box that is full of jasmine flowers. Okay, and then he uh, got down to the ground. He kneeled down and threw 7 handfuls of the flower in this direction. But he take the jasmine flower and threw the, 7 handfuls of them in each direction with the wish to invite the private Buddha to come. Okay, and the flowers on its own travel to the Himalaya or flying to Himalaya and fell, okay, on the cave where the private Buddhas okay, or Pacceka Buddha leaf, okay, and then 7 of the Pacceka Buddha come through the air to the palace, and the king and queen have the chance to offer to them, okay, for the whole week, and before leaving, okay, the Pacceka Buddha or the private Buddha express their gratitude, okay, they like give the blessing to the king, okay, uh, mostly talk about the importance of charity or being generous, okay. So this is Chataka, okay, where this in this life that king become King Basenati, and the queen that time become Queen Malika, okay. And with the advice of Queen Malika, the king was able to make the offering to the Buddha and his disciple. Okay, that is called it's called incomparable gift. Okay, which is only happened once in the lifetime of the Buddha. Okay, so this is a story that the Buddha talk about this. Okay, so that's the story where this proverb came from. Okay. All right. There is another Chataka that you probably would be able to read by yourself. Okay. In this life, the Bodhisattva was born as a golden goose. Okay. The story is not very long. Okay. You can read on your own and see what this is about. Okay. Any questions so far? We have covered all the proverbs in this group of number 8, which is the group of the Dharma. Okay, or different virtues that Lord Buddha have taught about. Okay, I hope you learn something from this. Okay, and especially maybe the method that we can search or use the AI to help in our studying or learning of the proverbs or other Pali sentences or Pali teaching of the Buddha. Okay, I hope you all enjoy this class.
Yes, Lumpy. Thank you, Lumpy, for sharing the Gemini search.
Okay, and
Yeah, didn't know that it works on AI too.
right. So maybe in your presentation you can use that as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you, Lumpy, for the tips.
All right. Any questions from any of you? Okay.
No, Lumpy.
Okay. I that's the part that I have for this week. Okay. So this proverbs of the presentation of Heiko, we'll see if will be able to cover it maybe at the end, toward the end. Okay, but next week we'll continue with Edward's presentation, and then Macy, Kim, and Lauren as the last. Okay, and then we'll come back with the rest of. Okay, any questions or any comments?
No, Lumpy.
Okay, all right then. We will stop at this and by paying homage to the Triple Gem before we take a break. Okay, let's all together. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi. Buddho Menatu, Lord Buddha is our refuge. Sawakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami. Dhammo Menatu, the Dhamma is our refuge. Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Saṅkho Saṅghang Namami. Sangho mena to the Sangha is our refuge. Okay, thank you for your attention and see you all next week. Okay.
Thank you หล
Thank
วง
you.
พี่นมัสการค่ะ
Satu.
ได้เลย